Now tuned to BS3 Network.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Life Happens podcast. I am your host, Amazing Grace. As you know, the Life Happens podcast is a podcast where we take our spirituality with everyday practical things to create this beautiful balance that you see before you. And before we get into our topic, which is do men love more authentically than women? Hey B Jones, you haven't been on for a long time. What's up?
Throwing up the deuce and giving y'all pound. You know, a south side acting bad on the slab.
Nice to see you after so long. It's been freaking years. Hey Ashley, it's been so long.
Thanks for having me back on.
Thank you for coming back on. We so appreciate all your wisdom and candor and your jokes that are not that funny. We will support it.
If they are, they're very funny.
No, they're not. Kim, you have been avoiding me, sister. What's up?
No, not avoiding, busy. They are putting up my Christmas lights right now outside, so getting ready for the holidays.
Is that right?
hmm
Shit, I almost dropped this whole freaking anyway.
So excited about the holidays coming up. You know, I love gathering with friends and family over food.
You know, you do all the baking, right? And your husband does all the cooking.
Yes, husband's cooking. It should be great. I'm making the desserts. I'm making my first apple pie. Actually, I've never made an apple pie, so I'm gonna try my hand at making that from scratch. Also, my friend at work gave me a recipe to some scones, so it'll be my first time making scones. So
Oh,
wish me luck, guys.
hold on. You said scones?
Uh huh.
It's scones where I'm from. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Oh well, I'm Texan and very country, so scones.
Yeah. Yeah, she's making scones, y'all.
I'm making biscuits. Do you know how to make them, Rabia?
From scratch, yes. But the scones that we make is not like savory scones, it's sweet. So you have it like with jelly and clotted cream and stuff like that.
Yes, that's what I want to do. I want to make it like that to where I can have like some different types of jellies, some imported jellies I can use, and then so hopefully that will go over well.
Are you going to talk with a British accent when you eat it?
I am. I really am.
You're so
I
bad.
am governor.
Oh my
I am
God.
governor.
Yeah, when you import jellies, you have to change up that accent.
I know. I know. I know.
Anyway, no,
I'm
actually,
excited.
scones, not scones. Sis. See, you're texting on the same wavelength, but that's okay though. Hey James. Um, Tanya, how have you been? Sis, I haven't seen you in a while. So Tanya lost somebody very dear to her. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah. It was he was 30 and lost him to cancer, and
oh,
went down there. Well, I was already gonna be down there because we had a lot of things with my kids and things like that. My kids live back where I'm from, so just a week. It was a week, but yeah, last week it just so happened to be the same time, and that was
Well, my condolences. I'm so sorry for your loss. Very
hi,
young. 30 is very young.
very, yeah, very.
so guys, have
But
you?
other than that, I'm doing good. And I just want to say, Kim, I need family that likes to cook and I like to eat. So feel free to
You're welcome to come over.
feel free to, because I will come. Promise you.
Come, Tanya, come. Yes.
Okay. Like, oh, she never goes home.
I see you inviting her, but you know me for over 20 years, but you didn't invite me, sis.
Because you're always at your brother's, sis.
I'm not at my
Always.
brother's this year, sis, because we're changing traditions, okay?
Hmm. Okay. Are you
Anyway,
not going to get your brother's?
I sure am not.
Oh, where are you going to be at?
I'll be in East Texas with my ex's family because I am the favorite ex-daughter-in-law. If you don't know, that's who I am.
Oh, that's so nice. You can co-parent.
I'm not cooking. They cooking because they don't want me to cook African food. They want to cook Thanksgiving food, which is cool. But they said maybe because I'll be there for a week. They said on day number 5, can you cook some chicken curry? Now I can do that after Thanksgiving, no problem. I don't want to have chicken curry and dressing and stuff. Like no, we're not.
No, but
Yeah.
I would love some chicken curry, man.
And you would love some tuna fish as well.
And I would love tuna, Robert. You make the best tuna ever.
I want you to say that louder for the one at the back that doesn't hear.
Yeah.
She makes the best tuna ever.
In life, but still don't have a husband but can cook. That's so damn sad, isn't it? Okay, let me stop being silly, guys. Do men love more authentically than women? We know what B. Jones thinks. Love, as we all know, is a beautiful mess of feelings, experiences, and connection, and it's unique to every person. Which I agree. Love is unique to every person. Like B. Jones was talking before the show, we're talking about love from a cultural perspective. Do you guys want to just get into the video, or do you want to get into the video? Okay.
Let's get to the video. I haven't seen it yet.
That's not something you say out loud, Kim.
Oh, sorry. I've been really busy.
Kim has not been doing her due diligence as a co-host.
She's right. I have not.
I think men love more authentically than women.
Huh?
Oh, this is what I mean by that.
You said say that again.
I say I think men
I had to
love
adjust.
more authentically than women. And this is why.
I can agree, but go ahead.
Women are in love with love.
Yes.
And because of that, I think you guys are wired to stick anybody in that spot. You can make him fit. You guys are socialized from little girls to fall in love with the process, the pageantry of love, the courting phase and the dates and the, you know what I'm saying? He put his hand on my thigh and we walked down the aisle and all that stuff. On the flip side, when a man figures out that realizes that he's in love, that's not a happy experience. He's like, God damn it. Because that is
Oh wow.
a responsibility.
He's telling the truth. He's telling the truth.
Now, because again, our two jobs are provide and protect. I love her means that I'm willing to die for her. That's not part of your responsibility.
Right.
Right. So we're not going to be as flippant or as generous with that love. Plus, we're not socialized to fall in love with the whole process and shit like that.
Really? Really, B. Jones?
No, and look at his face. Like, where is that really at, sir?
Work out the muscles. Work out them core muscles, dude. Massage them. Yeah.
Oh man, I think he has a point, y'all. Because I think I'm very guilty of that. Like I've been starting to realize that, and like when I sit back and kind of just like think of the experiences I've been through, that's exactly what we do. Like we're like, oh, we did this and this and this, and then and then when that phase falls off, like I think we're programmed because of social media and the stuff that gets broadcast out there to think that that's like, oh, he really wants me, he's chasing me because he's doing all this stuff for us, when it's really something. It's like it should be something deeper than that if you're really in love. And then we throw love out there so freely as women, but if a man actually feels like they love him at that point, they decided that that's the person that they're going to be with, and they accept them for who they are. And so I'm agree with him. I definitely do.
But okay, so I'm going to ask you this. What do you think it truly means to love with authenticity? What do you think that means to you?
To me first? Okay. To me, and this is not, okay, I didn't do research. I didn't look nothing up. But I think it's like to accept the person as they are. Like in my eyes, that's what I would be like, to accept like love as the whole, as the relationship, as the person, their flaws. Being able to, when you actually love someone, being there, like regardless of what ends up happening, to a certain extent, that you would actually when you authentically love them, you accept them for who they are and work to make it work or do better or however, whatever path it goes down. That's what I feel like it means.
Um, I agree. There's nothing you said that wasn't true. I agree. What about you, Kim?
I think that love is more than an emotion. I do. I think love is more of a commitment, and it's the thing where it's like you're committed to that person. And I think that supersedes the emotional aspect of love is the commitment part. Because I have found with my girlfriends that men or my relatives actually, where men have come home and told their wives, I just don't love you anymore. I'm just not in love anymore. And it's like, well, love is more than that. It's more, love is a commitment. It's not that ooey gooey feeling that you had 20 years ago. It's more than that. So what you're saying is, I no longer want to be committed to you. I mean,
Choice is not a
choice. I'm sorry?
It's not a choice because it sounds like it's a choice.
Right. So that's what I think love is. As far as the video goes, I don't know if men love more authentically than women. I think it's all like thrown up in the air, and it could be either or. I mean, I get from his perspective where he's coming from, because we do have that ideology about, love, and it's thrown in our faces, kids, princesses, and all of this, trying to find Mr. Right and all of that. And we talk to our women about, being in love, finding your partner finding you, and falling in love and doing all that. Those things. I always teach my girl that love is a commitment.
So Maria on Instagram says love is a decision. That's true
It
too.
is. I agree.
Tasha
It's
said,
more.
to me, love is an action word, so I do not agree.
Thank you. Thank you. Love can be a choice, and it is. It can be a decision, but love is action. There's but okay, so what if God just told you he loved you and didn't do anything? Could those two things exist? No.
I agree with you because
That is I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said Jesus had to come to show to prove. He couldn't just say, you're absolutely right. You have to
Yeah. You love is total action, and that's where people. So here's what society does, and this is what I do give grace, but then I'm losing tolerance with people in certain aspects, and this is one of them. People just put out their own perspective of whatever they think it is, right? And I understand we all have our experiences and this and that, but all you have to do is just open a book or Google it, and you will find out that love is action. It is an unselfish, a selfless action.
Preach.
So I always tell people, if two people are truly in love or loving each other to grow to be in love, and they actually know what love is, then they are constantly showing the other person acts of selflessness. So their cups are both full, which is a whole subject in itself, right? I can't pour out what I don't have. So if I'm empty on the inside and I don't have self-love and I don't love myself and I don't have those type of things in me, then what am I pouring out to somebody else, right? If it's not love, what is it? It's a whole bunch of phantom stuff that you think is love, that you've persuaded yourself is love, but it's not. That's why you have a ton of problems. That's why you have two empty people pouring out of empty cups, and most of the time you're not pouring. It amazes me that how many times I see more so women than men go, "You've got to make me happy. You've got to do this for me. You've got to do that for me. You've got to do that." All this, my BS, that has nothing to do with love. I love myself, right? I've gone on a self-love journey that I really, really like. It's cool. So I have the capability to pour out my love with a whole bunch of emotional vulnerability to a woman who I hope would go, "Hey, I like this. So I'm going to do it back because I'm in a similar situation." Does she have to be as healed as me? No, she has to be healing. She can't be unhealed. I'm not fixing to be her therapist, but it's action. I don't, if two people keep doing that, if two people keep pouring unselfishly pouring into each other, then no one ever goes empty. No one ever goes empty. And then, like Kim said, people falling out of love. I'm not sure that you were in love in the first place. That would be a big question for me. Were you ever in love in the first place? Because if we're going to talk from a Christian standpoint, God can't fall out of love with us once He's in it. It's like, oh, okay, I love you today, and then just because you didn't do anything wrong, I don't love you anymore.
Right.
Come on now,
Right.
let's chill out on that. And men are and a relationship is supposed to be a marriage is supposed to be a representation of various things throughout the Bible, including God's love for the church, yada yada yada. And there's no such thing as, oh, well, today I'm just going to fall out of love with you just for various reasons that I may not even be able to explain to you. No, come on now.
No, of course not. But I'd like to add to some of the stuff you said, and I agree with you 100%, especially when you talk about from a God perspective, because a lot of times people think that saying you love somebody is enough, and it's not, because you got by action. Otherwise, Jesus wouldn't have to die publicly. He could have died in private, right? But nobody would have seen that because it was love demonstrated, right? So I agree with that. But I'd like to add to this. I think loving authentically also means that you're true to your feelings as well, right? And there's no pretense. And what I can say, what Tanya said, acceptance, not just for yourself, but the other person, genuine emotion, sincerity, all that stuff encompasses true, authentic love. But let's throw a wrench in here. Let's talk about culture, right? Because that makes a difference. When I listen to the guy in the video, I think about, well, a lot of what he said works in American culture, right? Because that's where we are in America, and that's, so I
Western
think
culture.
upbringing and cultural background play a significant part. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, of course. I mean, that's a no gimme. It does. Everything plays a part. I mean, your society plays a part, your family plays a part. It all plays a part in how you were raised and how you were brought up, on what you saw, on what you let in. You know what I'm saying? What you believe, your beliefs, your belief system, everything plays a part into that. So you cannot negate one or the other. It does play a part. But I thought what's the great thing about him was that he was like, we're there to protect, right? To take care of a woman and protect
Right,
her. And
right.
I think that that's become a little skewed in our society, a lot, because of women don't want that sense of, well, I really don't need you for that purpose. And I think it becomes a little skewed for, because I think a man should be there to protect a woman. I do, but our society, women are very boss lady and very much, what's the word? They're very independent, and so they don't need that because they are gaining all of these things on their own. You know what I'm saying?
I think,
So I
yeah,
think our society has become a little skewed when it comes to that. Because even when he said that, it went back to the whole male thing, that I'm here to protect you and do this for you and do that for you. So that
which I
also is
that's
Princess and the Frog. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
And to be honest, I'll always say this: raising a male child, I see the importance in a lot of those things that he said. But I also see in American culture, it could be a lot of imbalance when it comes to that.
I
Because
think so.
let's say they want to be independent, right? But then it's like you're picking and choosing, well, I want this, but I don't want
Go
that.
with that. Mm-hmm.
And I think you could have both. I think it could be a balance, because I'll talk about my culture where we were raised to be wives, okay? You're raised to be submissive, but if you know my personality, it's not that I can't be submissive, it's that there's certain things I'm just not going to do. Well, maybe it's because I'm in America. I don't know. But anyway, we were raised to be submissive, to treat your man a certain way, to have children, but also to be educated, to be able to take care of the family if in something happens to him, right? But African women know, okay, this is his role, this is my role, and then that's what you do. But if something happens, we were raised to be able to take over if we need to, right? And I've said this before, a lot of American men will say, well, I'm going to go to Africa and find a wife. My darling, you can do that, but if you are not in a position to provide, they are not going to submit to you, even if they can take care of themselves. It's a cultural thing, right?
Well, I think it goes back to what Brian said. It's all about balance. Pouring in and that each person kind of pouring in, and there's a balance to that. You know what I'm saying? There's an equality to that.
I want Brian to add to actually say what he said before the show. You said a lot of good things about culture that I really would like the audience to hear. If you
So
don't,
history tells us that there's no man. It's a tie because you have culture, like you said, culture experiences and how you're raised in that culture when it comes to marriages and when it comes to love. And it's not our version of love either. Like if you take the Asian cultures, especially the Japanese culture, the women are just there to be submissive, and I mean in every shape, form, and fashion. They won't let men pick up stuff in the house, right? Men are doing other stuff. If a man comes in and say, I'll help with the groceries," no, like that is a no for them. You have cultures like Rome, which comes from Greek cultures. It's a lot of arranged marriages where you're just trying to have a whole bunch of boys to feed the army. If you have a girl, she's not even named for 4 or 5 years because women are almost irrelevant. They're really just used to fuel the army, right? And yeah, you have African cultures who have arranged marriages, but one man can be married to 15 women, and a lot of those women aren't there for love reasons. They're there for treaty reasons. They're there for trade reasons. I married your daughter so I could get discounts on spices, and we are now allies just in case we go to war. That doesn't mean I have to love her. It just means da 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 da. Because if that was the case, then all of the inheritance from the king or the man in power in that marriage that has a whole bunch of wives, he would rightly divide those his inheritance through all the kids. No, he gives them all to the principal wife. Everything pretty much goes all to the principal wife. So if we're talking about love, if you will, in this society, then you're if you had to make me choose, I would say men love more authentically than women for this one reason. I think, and I'm only talking about good men and good women. I'm not talking about the F boys, and I'm not talking about those trash women out there either. I'm talking about the good men and good women. You will see more good women with trash F boys and no good men than you see good men with no good women. And it's the reason why I've said it on this podcast, and I say it all the time. For some reason, and well, I know the reason, but anyway, good women love to turn their intuition and their discernment off, see that no good F boy, and go, I can change him. And and because he's got something physical, he's got something, lustfully financial, or he's got some type of status, and she goes, ooh, I want that. And I'm going to, like old boy said in that video, I'm going to put him there. I'm going to fill this love spot with him. And women and men do that, but nowhere near at the rate of women. Right. And men are very picky with, I'm going to give all that I have. Good men are very picky with going, I'm going to give what I have to this woman. And I guarantee you, more good women choose really bad F boys than good men choose really bad women. And that's why I would say men love more authentically. Because, I mean, I do agree with the whole, with what he said about women just trying to fill a spot. Where I don't agree with him is when he said that, it's scary when men find out, that I'm in love. No, it's not. It's not scary at all. It's one of the best feelings ever. Because if you are in love with this woman, both of you have shown to each other what Tim was talking about earlier, commitment and understanding and not being judgmental, and more so than understanding, comprehension. Because I can tell you something all day, and you not listening and not understand it. But if you comprehend where I'm coming from, that's where the magic happens. It's a collection of what love is, the selfless love. She's healing, I'm healing, she's healed, I'm healed. We're throwing back selfless actions of consideration and comprehension and all of this stuff back and forth. And then one day I go from I like you, I care, boom, I love you, I'm in love with you, and that is the most beautiful thing ever. You got a Martin and Gina thing going right there. So I ain't scared of that at all. I think he just embellished on that to get a pop emotions moment.
I think it was just more of his emotions that he shares them because now he found that woman that he's going to be vulnerable to, and for men,
there you go. You go.
I'm in love with her. When a man finally says, "Hey, I'm in love with this woman," that means he's ready to be vulnerable. He's ready to open up and to share these things that, because y'all don't get to express y'all's emotions without being called what do they call it, lame or
weak, punk, lame, all that.
Like
but see, you're 1,000% correct. But it should happen prior to. I was dating a woman, and I told her, I said, "Look, I don't know where you are in life," and we talked about it a little bit. And I said, "I'll tell you what, I have worked on myself to a point where I'm emotionally available right now, and I'll tell you what." I may not be able to lead in a whole bunch of other ways because we just met each other and we're just like in, a couple of weeks in talking. But I'll tell you what, I will lead out emotionally. I will, if you want to follow, I'm taking, no matter what's happened in your life, I'm not them. Okay? I ain't them. And you are not all the women that have screwed me over too. So we're both taking the same risk. So I'm going to step out first and become emotionally vulnerable, so this is a safe place, like Kim said earlier, providing some protection other than, I got a whole bunch of money.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, men aren't taught to be vulnerable. That is something that most men don't even learn. It's something that we're just now hearing about. You can't cry. You can't share your feelings. You can't talk about what's going on the inside. You got to hold it all in because you got to handle it. You're the man. You got to handle it, man. All that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when we say protect and provide, that's, on all levels. There's
all levels.
Actually physically protecting and, providing. You got to provide that emotional support. You got to provide the stuff. Because I forgot what show it was on, but we said it. Women are mental and men are visual. I forgot what show it was, but we were talking about something and how, like, women, like for a woman, the way y'all get with, what was it? Y'all don't remember?
Emotional and men are visual?
It was mental. Like when you get into a woman's head mentally, that's when when you get in her head mentally.
You're right.
Yeah. So, to me, if you're able to get into my head and you're able to let me be vulnerable like that to you, that's a way of protecting and providing me, because then I'm going to tell you what I need as emotionally or as something to feel safe and secure. And, you're either going to provide that to me or you're not. So I think that, again, I have a big thing about social media and all these videos that go viral because they just give us false sense of a lot of things. Like you're listening to we're what videos are going viral of some really stupid people. Like y'all, these people are the stupidest people, and they're the ones that go viral with the stupid stuff. Yeah, not the real stuff, the stupid stuff.
What about the lady with the Cheesecake Factory lady? And she wasn't even that cute.
Stop. Let's not even talk about her. Let's not talk about her.
We call her the bimbo in the green dress. Like,
stop. She's dressed up head to toe from Sheen, but she draw the line at Cheesecake Factory. Get out of here.
Sheen depends on depends. No, but I hear you. She was full of shit. Like she irritated me.
Yeah, get out of here. And then on top of that, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I also saw that was staged, and she went viral just like as she planned, and now she's making money off of it.
But even if it was, that is a real scenario that happens. I promise you, it happens. It happens. And here's the part about it. Somebody in the comments, when somebody sent that to me, and I just went straight to the comment to see who had some sense. Who was, like, there's an easy answer to that. I don't care what a woman says. If she like him, she's gonna go wherever.
Exactly.
How
Because
many times? How many times have good women gone into f boy world where it's completely dangerous, where she shouldn't be there, and she's like, "Oh, girl, we had a good time with me and Maurice. Maurice took us down. I know it's dangerous again, but yeah, like, come on now." She talking about she had a good time, and she ate nachos out of a stand from a dude who was selling them, and they wasn't even.
That's not true
Man, whatever. I don't want to hear that. If she like him, she gonna go to Taco Bell, Cheesecake Factory, or whatever expensive restaurant, Monarchs or whatever.
Brian, this is what the issue was. She went with F boy because he was wearing gray sweats. Okay.
Well, it don't matter. Don't matter.
I'm just
Good,
Oh
good, good men wear gray sweats. I know I do.
trying to show you a print. That's why she went to get the nachos at the gas station with dude. Okay. And then
Yep.
then he
We
gave
go to the park.
me. Don't get me started with that. But anyway, that's funny though.
You know.
Yeah. But as far as like, okay, so back to love though. Okay, love being action, yes. You gotta have action. It's action, it's emotion, like it's all that. But like also too, this whole falling out of love with someone, like yeah, Brian was right. Like they didn't love you in the first place because once I love somebody, I still love you, even though you
I'm
did.
sorry.
Oh, hold on. No, I'm not. Okay, let me finish. I can still have love for you because if something happened to you, I would care. And maybe that's just me, but
Yeah.
I will. Like, I'm not, I could never speak to you again. But if I ever truly loved you, I still have love for you. Like, I don't wish nothing bad. I don't wish nothing bad at all happens to you, and I do care. So if something did happen to you, I'll be the bimbo that shows up and be like, are they okay? And because it is an actual emotion and feeling because that's supposed to be the bond that holds us together in that relationship or in the marriage or whatever it is love, just like we love our kids, we love our dogs, all that. So
I think you can fall out of love.
Well, no, Robert, you're about to talk from your own. Yes, you can fall out of love if there's betrayal, deceit, if someone's beating the piss out of you, if someone's killing your self esteem. Yes, if those things are happening, I'll fall out of love quick.
Like it's frivolous shit. Like you just
Yes,
the way you choose. Now that's bullshit, right? That's not,
yes, yes.
but yes, you can. I'm sorry. People confuse slavery and loyalty. There is a huge freaking difference between slavery and loyalty. And we become slaves to people that mistreat you. Like, oh, I can't do this because no, I was a slave for a long time. So no, you can't
Yeah,
fall out of love with the mother sucker.
that's
Okay.
the cultural aspect, though. Like, yeah, yeah, that's that. But I feel you on that. But if two people are rocking with each other, you're supposed to be evolving continually with the person that you're with,
Exactly. Come
and
on.
and that is like honestly. So God's mercies are new every morning, and when you wake up to her every morning, she should be more beautiful than the day before. You know why?
Oh, it's so
Because
sweet.
she keeps evolving in here because this is gonna fade. I don't care how. Look, me and Carrie Hilson go on dates all the time, and if me and Carrie Hilson get married, there will be a day that I wake up to her and she becomes common to me physically. You know why? I relate it to a car. You remember your favorite car when you bought it? Is it still the most lavish and awesome and most I'm gonna keep it clean car? Probably not. You might be thinking, man, I'm gonna get another car. I'm gonna trade this in. Da, 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 whoop, whoop. Because the materialistic, the physical, anything concrete fades. But the reason why Carrie Hilson would be more beautiful than the day before is what's in here. She's still gonna be pretty, even if she's common to me at that point. But this is going to make this 10 times better, right? And that's exactly what's supposed to happen, but it doesn't because people aren't. I ask women two questions. What does love look like to you? And what does it look like to you physically? What does it look like to you emotionally? Like, what does it look like to you? And you should hear some of the answers. There's a lot of people who don't even know, or they just say general stuff.
Like what? Give an example. What do you?
Oh,
Yeah, a lot.
well, like on the first date, But you should kind of show me you care. Like you should spend $200-300 right out, like to impress me. And at that point, it's just I don't care if I was a millionaire. Like all that. Nah, you now. Some women will say, "Look, I I really am about consistency," and I go, "Okay, expound." They'll say, "Look, it starts from the beginning. If you tell me you're going to call me later on that night, then I expect a call, or you should call. And then if you don't, then I'm not saying that you have to explain yourself." But it would be courteous if you let me know, why you didn't, or we could reschedule the talk or whatever. Or if you're consistent with, hey, if you say something, or make sure that make sure your actions back up your words. So if you say, hey, we're going to do this on a certain day, then let's do that on a certain day. Or the consistency of your conversation and matching, what you say with about who you are to actually doing those things. So that those are building things about love. But then you have also trauma situations where you have people who go, look, I can't be by myself for too long. I have to see the person that I like more than 2 or 3 times a week, or more than 4 times a week, because I have to be connected to them, and this and that and this and that. So because of the way that they either were or weren't loved, that could be either I was coddled a lot or I have abandonment issues. So, those are just a few things that I can remember. I'm sure I can remember more later, but I do ask women those questions.
I think when you ask questions like that, I think you should not put up the X sign if they're giving you
I don't think
an
that should be
authentic answer. You know what I'm saying? Even though it may not fit the criteria, but I don't think it should be like, oh, you answered that incorrectly, because it
Mm-mm.
was an
that's not
incorrect.
though.
No, 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 no. Don't confuse. I hope I didn't come across as they were wrong with their thinking, because that's their thinking.
Right.
Once you once you
Right. That's what I wanted
once
to
you
say.
tell me once you tell me something like that, there are reasons why you think that taking you out on a $200 or $300 date is a good thing, or a impressive thing, or there's something psychologically going on with you that doesn't connect with me at all, because what you lead with is what you are going with all the way. So if you lead with superficiality, if you lead with money, if you lead with all of this other stuff, this concrete stuff that can fade, your love for me will wax and wane according to how much stuff I provide you, concretely,
Right.
concretely. And that's proven. If you start off with leading with money, the moment I don't make enough according to your expectations, or give you enough according to your expectations, you will start to do this.
Well, those aren't those. I don't think you would even date anyone like that, Brian. Or
But
Well,
even
that's why I put up the X. Like, once a woman, that's why I ask people these questions, not to say that they're right or wrong in their thinking, because it's their thinking.
right.
I see if it's compatible with me. And a woman who starts off with, if I met the cheesecake girl, she wouldn't. It'd be, first of all, yeah, there ain't gonna be no second date. There ain't gonna be no rest of the date. We ain't finna finish Jack. Mess around. I go in there and I eat. She can call Uber with that type of attitude. That was trash.
But Kim, I'd like to add to Brian. See, that's Brian's preference. He could X her out immediately. It's just like when a man and woman go on a date, and the man needs, especially for some of us, we X him out. That's his prerogative. What's wrong with that if he doesn't like those things about him? He doesn't have to continue the race. We do that all the time. Women do it all the time. That many of all the most privileged things. So what
yes,
is
you're right.
that?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's Brian.
I don't think anything's wrong with that. And I think for me, because I'm getting older and I'm seeing him navigating potential relationships, I'm also seeing people off, especially women now, okay? Because I've jumped on that bandwagon, okay? Because I have a son now. So there's nothing wrong with it. You like what you like. And so
Yeah,
what?
that's true. That's
Okay,
true.
so what about this? What about sex and love?
Sex and love.
Those are two different things.
You love them.
I think sometimes sex will make you think. Orgasms may make you think that. Oh, look at Kim. You have to be
Sometimes
fucking.
that changes it all the way. You're like, oh shit.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, remember that you're emotional. You as a woman, you are emotional. I think if you keep it in the forefront of it and remind your ass of that consistently, I think you'd be okay. Because we think that sometimes we can be like men. We are not men.
No.
We
Yeah,
are
you
not.
can't separate it. I don't think women can. I don't think
No.
women
I
can.
think it's very difficult to separate it. I think it's something you have to be super conscious of. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and even in that, like you have the side that's logical, but then there's the emotional side, right? And you try to create this balance, and shit is hard.
It
I
is
mean,
hard.
I have a girlfriend that has multiple friends,
Okay, and she's
and
with all of them.
huh?
She's having sex with all of them.
She is having sex,
With
but
all
she
of
is
them.
not
I know.
emotionally tied to any of them.
How?
I mean, it
Oh,
can
she
happen.
can do that. There are women that can do that for sure. I know some.
She's
Yeah.
just not
Yeah.
emotionally tied. I'm just having fun, you know? So,
Is she protecting herself and protecting them?
I mean, sex, yes, she's old. Yes. I mean, yes, of course. No STDs and
You
all
know,
that.
you would
Yeah.
hope.
Like,
Yes.
I mean, shit.
You would hope.
They don't.
Well,
Yes,
that was
but what I'm saying is that I think women can do that. I don't advise it, but I think women can have sex with have multiple partners and be detached, just like men can be detached.
Hmm.
yeah. I definitely, I can definitely experience that. And I had this argument with someone at one time that because, and I mean, it probably it does come off the wrong way, but it's just how I feel. Like I could have sex with someone and not feel a way about them, but I can't kiss nobody in the mouth like that. Like if once I kiss you in the mouth, that's more to
Hold
me.
on, girl.
I've heard that before. I've heard women say that
Walking
before.
down the
In the mouth
street,
is
pretty
more.
woman.
Say that again.
That's the movie,
I didn't hear what you said. Say that again, Kim.
Pretty Woman. Have you ever
Yeah,
Pretty Woman? She could have sex with guys, but the kissing part was her
that was so.
thing that she couldn't do because that was too intimate.
Girl,
Intimate.
what about your vagina? But anyway, I guess everybody's different.
But I
That's
mean, I'm
that's what
sorry.
Tanya
I
just
didn't feel that
said.
way. Like I feel like okay, I can I've had sex with someone before and I'm like, oh, whatever. But when it comes to kissing, like I refuse to kiss people in the mouth unless I really care for them. And I have to really like you to kiss you in the mouth. Like really, really.
That shit sounds so backwards though.
Okay, I understand it sounds backwards. I really, really do. But
Backwards.
I can't. I just to me the kid like that to me is like for somebody I love more. I guess I
Oh,
don't know.
you keep your
You know,
lips.
it is backwards, but
Is that what you're saying? You keep
huh?
your lips are special, so you keep your lips for special people. I'm just saying that's what's happening.
But I mean, it's just true. I've always had a thing like that. Just something about kissing the mouth makes it.
Okay, that's different. So the guy. Let's talk about the guy in the video. From what he was saying, a lot of the stuff he mentioned was more so providing. Did you hear that? It was just me. He was talking more from a providing perspective, right? Because when he said that whenever a man falls in love, it's like, oh fuck. Like it's not like this joyous thing. It's like now I have this responsibility. Excuse me for this woman. Did you get that? And I know Brian said that that wasn't true for him. So Kim,
No, because I'm
what,
sorry. Go ahead.
you go ahead. I'm sorry.
I, I don't get it, but I do. So yeah, I know that sounds like it doesn't make sense because people are who they are. But look, you should you shouldn't just snap into, oh, I've got to do X Y Z for this woman if I love her or if I care for her. When you start dating,
Mm-hmm.
there'll be a point you're supposed to date to see if you're going to be able to be in a relationship with each other, right? So what you do in the dating phase should give you a glance of what you should be or what you're going to get into as in an exclusive relationship, right? Then while you're in a relationship, you should be doing things, and it should give you a glance of what being married to this person's going to look like. Now, am I going to pay off your house note or all that stuff while we're dating. No, not me. I mean, some men do it, some whatever. But I'm saying the previous step should give you a picture or somewhat of a picture or pieces to the puzzle to see what it would be in the next step. The problem with people is that they don't do that. They just some people rush too fast. They go from, hey, we're gonna date for 2 weeks, then we're gonna move in, then we're gonna get married because and a lot of stuff is what Tanya said, because social media, look, the relevancy of the like button is greater than the BS that you're going through at the crib. I know people who are getting married, and I know they're going through hell at the crib. But when they take that picture and they get all those likes, that adrenaline rush, that dopamine that goes into your neurological system, it fills them up. It's like a shot of crack just right in their neck. Like, oh, this feels great every time I log on to Facebook and I see another 10 people have liked the picture of this no good who keeps treating me bad.
Yep.
Wow.
Like they love that. Or some people just take it too slow. Some people just go, hey, I ain't doing nothing for you. I ain't showing you nothing. I'll show you bits and pieces until I figure out this whole thing. And then when I do, I'll give you the look, nah, man, look, to each his own, but it's not a big revelation. It shouldn't be oh, well, I find out that I love you or I'm in love with you. Now I'm going to do, something that I should have been doing at the very beginning. So I'm finally going to show you a side of me that you've never seen before, this and that. No, you should be showing bits and pieces of yourself. You should be evolving with that person through every step of the process.
Right. It's hard sometimes.
Yeah, it is, because nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to get hurt.
It's exactly, and it does come from both sides, men and women. You're scared to open up that way, and like, well, he's got to show me first. She's got to show me first, and then when you find somebody who is authentic, is an authentic person, then it's hard for you to turn that off. And then let's say you start doing all that, and then next thing you find out she's talking to 7 other guys, or he's talking to 4 other girls, and like, well, we just. I think we're scared to show people that.
Okay, so you're saying that, well, I'll say from your experience, if you have the conversations up front, right, about what you want to do in the are people in your experience not holding up to what they said they're going to do?
Yeah.
Right off top. Why are we trying to figure out each other's favorite color? Who gives a damn about your favorite color? I'm gonna find that out. I'm going to find out your favorite color either on the first or second date. You know why? You're gonna wear it. If you like me or you're interested in me, you're probably gonna wear some of your favorite stuff or something that you think is looks awesome on you, right? And it's probably going to be a favorite color of yours or something a favorite brand of yours or whatever. I'm going to find out the small stuff along the way. Let's have a conversation about, are you able to reciprocate love languages that you don't like receiving? Let's talk about that. Let's have conversations about that. Let's have conversations about like cool stuff. We can talk about Martin and have fun conversations with that. But I also need to find out like things about you that I can. Hey, well, what's your love languages? What's your top 3? Da 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 da. Okay, you like acts of service. You like this. You like that. I'm not very big on acts of service. So what do I need to do? I need to start going. Okay, she likes acts of service. Well, then when I get around her, I'm going to do small acts of service to practice on getting better at it. And hopefully that'll make her smile if she's being honest about her acts of service. So, yeah, stuff like that. Who cares what your favorite color is? I'll find that out.
So, Kim is saying that we start a dating situation, yeah.
Yes. So I was thinking the 2 people at the bottom of the screen aren't dating anyone.
How you know?
Oh, well, I don't. I'm just assuming.
We're asking.
Well, are you dating someone, Brian?
Hey, Mitchell.
Hey, Mitchell.
I don't like dating games.
Okay, what does that mean? Because we're not talking about dating game. We're saying the two people at the bottom of the screen, are they single or not? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with Tanya, but if I wanted to holler at Tanya, I would holler at Tanya instead of y'all trying to become like third graders.
You're not doing that, right? Okay. Did you?
Y'all put me on the spot. I'm not good on the spot.
The private message. Did you see the private message, right?
No, I didn't see a private message, but if I wanted to, like I said, we're not third graders anymore.
I cannot.
What you're including what we're talking about, because anyway, what you know. We know you're in grade, okay? Because we know anyway. We can talk about
Great.
But okay, back to the subject.
Okay. That was
Back to
cute.
the subject.
I thought it was cute. But you know what
No, what?
It's funny.
in American culture, let's talk about I want to go back to culture, right? I think most of us are in love with being in love. We don't want to work it. Let's be honest, work and relationships, that shit it takes work. Because you're meeting two people, especially from a different culture. Because I'll say for myself, my ex-husband was American. I'm African, but I'm also living in America. But I do a lot of shit that's cultural, and I realize I irritate because of some of the ways I move. And I find myself when I have conversations with men, I can see how that can be a problem, right? I can see it. Like, I mean, shit, that's not going to work because if I want to, strap my baby to my back if I had a baby, or if I want to do certain things, they're not going to go for that. And I don't know for me if it's something that would be easy to overcome, or would I need somebody that's more accepting? But then at the same time, I'm like, shouldn't I be accepting too? Because I'm in America now. I don't know.
So
Maybe
do you think it's harder for two cultures to come together then?
I think yes,
If you're not willing to understand the other culture, yes.
yes, it is.
See, Rabia said earlier that men like to say, "Oh, I'm gonna go over to Africa and get a woman." You know why? Because men think African women are just gonna do whatever they say.
That's what they think.
That's what they think. That's what they think. But are they willing to understand culture? Like Islamic women have to stay behind their men in X amount of steps, right? Is she willing to get out of that if you're an American man who likes hand holding? And if she says that she can't get out of that, well, are you willing to accept that there are cultural things that people have to understand about each other? But I don't think most people aren't understanding. Most people don't even comprehend. They don't even want to take the time to learn the other person's culture if it doesn't fit their preference or their expectation of what they think a woman should or shouldn't do. Then they go, "Oh, your stuff is stupid." Shut up, you're stupid.
No,
I was talking to my friend and I'm like, hey, she's like, yeah, this Nigerian guy, he's really interested in me, but I won't date him. And I was like, why? She says, they're very possessive. And I thought, that's a really true statement.
Yes.
Oh, that is a true statement. I'm like, are you making that up?
No, I almost this close got married to a Nigerian. And
hold on, wait. The first thing you have to ask if you meet any foreigner is what is their status, immigration status, because they will pursue you relentlessly, honey, and they will make you think.
Really?
Oh yes.
Yeah, to get the visa.
Yeah, not the the green card.
I mean, the green card. All right.
Woman on earth, child, and no, because they already have wives back home. But that's what I mean. That's most of them. I'm not saying all of them. Okay,
90% of them, and they don't tell you about them until you see it on your Snapchat. You're like oh. They got all that. They're.
So I want to hear about this Nigerian man you almost married, Tanya.
Yes, kind of, please.
Yeah, that was it very, but he was Americanized, so that wasn't too bad. But he still grew up in his culture. So when we were together, I did take it upon myself to learn as much as I could. I try to learn, what. And I forgot now because it's been so long. But I mean, I did try to learn as much as I could of the culture, and then being in there, I kind of seen how the women were in his family, how like honestly, the women in his family are very, very dominant. So, yeah, it's definitely, they are very possessive though, very. But I don't know, because then after that, I thought that after that went away, I kind of I liked it at that point. So I pursued a few more, and then I was like, yeah, no, like the real Nigerians. I was like, oh no, that was too much. Like, because he had a balance. Like he turned it off and on. But the ones that I have one that I dated him for just very, very briefly. He was like, yeah, I couldn't submit that way. And because they want you, they're real forceful, they're real strong and like about this, but they're gonna do whatever they want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're gonna do
Yeah.
whatever they want to do. And you better not tell me nothing.
When I was coaching, I there's this kid, this married couple, and they had two boys, and the two boys were very athletic. And I remember they played basketball for me, and the oldest one was in the eighth grade, and you can tell. And the guy was Asian, and she was Caucasian, right? And you could tell that she wanted to just go like on a regular basis. You could tell she was so condensed into what he had basically told her to be, squashed her to be. And then one day, they did private lessons, basketball trainings with me for both of their kids. But the oldest son came in one day, and we started at 9, and he came in. He goes, "Coach, I'm just going to tell you the truth. I'm just tired." And I said, because he knows how I am as a coach. And I said, "What's going on, bud? Tell me." He goes, it's a jam-packed schedule." I said, "A jam-packed schedule? What do you mean? It's June. This is the summer. You're supposed to be having fun." He goes, "Not me." And I go, "Okay, well, tell me about your schedule." He said, "Well, I had to wake up at 6. Then I had to do yoga at 7. Then I had to study. I forgot what extracurricular class he was doing at 8. Then he's got me at 9. Then he's got trombone lessons at 10:30. Then he's got piano lessons at the hour later. Then he goes to lunch. Then he's got violin lessons at such and such." This kid had a jam-packed schedule. Why? Because his dad's Asian. That's their culture. If their kid is good at anything, they stick that kid on a schedule to master the skill set that they have or that they think the kid has. And that's what that child was going through. Both of the children were going through that. And the wife was he just made her into, Asian wife. Just, hey, do what I say. Yeah, the only voice you have is if you got to tell me a joke. That's it. But other than that, do it. And he presented himself like a really good guy, but behind closed doors, I know she was going through Hades, and those kids were too. But of course, in his eyes, it's one of those things. You create this discipline as a kid, and then when they grow up, they'll be whatever they want to be, and he'll do whatever it takes to get them there. But I felt sorry for him. So that whole practice, we just had fun. I said, "All right, bud, we're going to do a couple of things that I got for you, but instead of the hour, I'm going to shave it down to 25 minutes, and me and you are going to go get some ice cream or something. You don't have to run." He said, "Yes, please, coach." I was like, "All right."
Yeah.
But that's the culture.
Yeah, culture plays a huge part there. That is so true. So let's talk about. Well, let me ask this: is there any people in your lives currently that you'll admire their relationships? What about you, Tanya? Is there anybody that you can say, is an example to you? Girl, you're thinking too long.
Because I don't know anybody. Like, I'm like, oh man. You know what? No, I do. I have an aunt and an uncle. Okay, and my aunt and uncle. Okay, so my uncle wasn't the best, but they and my sister. Yeah, okay, so I'm on, and my sister and hers. But they got together at a very young age, from age like 16, 15, 16. And from that age until like 40 something, my uncle was, just what we consider a fuck boy. Okay. but my aunt stood by his side. She's there. They're still married, and like their kids are younger, or they're like about a little younger than me. So we're all 30. We're in our 30s, and they're still together. They still seem really happy. They still do things together, and so yeah, I think that's probably like seriously like one of the only relationships but that's from on the outside looking in because I
Right.
don't know what's happening back there. But
Of course,
this
we won't.
it's been so long. She's been like all his flaws, she's accepted all his flaws. They worked it through, like they will split up for a little bit, but they always came back together to work on it because I feel like that was true love coming from her because he was the one doing all the extra stuff.
What about
I
you?
think that's, you know what? I think that, I don't mean to extend this, but I think that's something other than love. Because when you find self love, you don't put up with shit like that,
You don't.
especially when it's more than once. But anyway, yes, the answer for me is yes. There are married couples that I know who give a great example of like the way it's supposed to be, or the way that I would uh, want it, or the way that I think that it's like awesome. So yeah.
And you, Kim?
Oh yeah, I know couples like that. I know every aspect of couples, the ones that are steady trying to make it happen, staying in it, um, even though maybe that love has fizzled, but they are committed to that person. Um, I know people who are happily married, you know, and I'm not saying they have their ups and downs, but they work through it and they're still together and raising their children and still laugh, still, you know what I'm saying? Then I
Yeah.
know some couples who sleep in different rooms, but they're still together. So I know every aspect. So yeah, I mean, I know some people who do have a good relationship.
But is it such a bad thing to have a separate room? Wouldn't it be nice and then you just have visits some days? Anyway, I have a thought. Um, anyway, my example of a couple that I admire is my ex-father-in-law and his wife. And one of the things that separated them from me was when she told me that they went to therapy very early on. And she said they reached a point where they both realized they wanted to be together, but they didn't need each other. And they went to therapy like many years ago. And that's a couple I admire. And she checks him and he checks her, but it's respectfully done. And I like watching them. I like their love story. When you listen to it, when you watch them together, it's kind of cool. So,
And then, I kind of have an incredible love story. So,
oh,
I'm
because
emulating it here. So,
Oh, Kim.
yes, we loved it.
And
Anyway,
because that was the first thing I thought was Kim and Felicia. I was like, their marriage just seems so like every time I hear stories, I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Like, and y'all all been married for a really long time, so that would be a goal for me. But like 40,
yeah, I think most people don't get married to get divorced anyway, do
right?
no,
we? Anyway,
they don't.
guys, final thoughts before we leave. It is 8:02.
Final what?
Thoughts.
Final thoughts. Final thoughts.
What's going on? Anyway, what's your final thoughts?
My final thought is, yeah, all that we said.
Big fact. All right, mine. I think that when yeah, what he said. History shows that it has to be equal. It's equal.
Yeah, I think so
It's
too.
equal.
I agree with both of them. Everything that we said is right on the money. And
Well, I believe that love is to be independent and interdependent. And that simply means I love you, I open my heart to you, but my heart doesn't depend on you. And I think that's the thing. We need to be able to be independent and interdependent.
I think
But
so.
I think other people need to change us. They need to manage our trauma, and that's not true. Anyway, guys, I
Wait, I
enjoyed
have a joke. I have a joke I heard the other day. I wanted to say it. Okay.
it.
Thank you, Mitchell. Okay, you ready?
Yes,
All right. Uh, why did the hipster burn his tongue on the coffee?
I don't know.
Because he didn't wait till it was cool.
I want to thank you guys for listening.
Okay, next. That was nice and corny.
Oh, God. Can't.
Bye.
Bye.
Like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.